It's very clear to me that Kramnik's ultimately his big problem is with chess.com. All right, you guys, let's get going. So we are, of course, back once again. We're going to be taking a look at more of this Kramnik stuff. Kramnik and Daniel Naroditsky, they had some kind of debate or something that was happening yesterday on Russian social media. Wasn't following it very closely, and obviously it was in a language that, like, I don't speak. So I think there's going to be some kind of breakdown of what happened, and let's get going with all of it. Okay, here we go.
Guys, I've just watched a 2-hour debate session in
Russian
between Vladimir Kramnik, former world chess champion, and Daniel Naroditsky, grandmaster, who has been maybe accused, maybe not accused, by at least the subject of attacks by Kramnik.
Okay, see, and this is, again, I'm gonna tell you guys, I'm gonna keep it very, very real here for a second. Like, this is ridiculous right from the get-go, that you have people, again, being apologists for Kramnik. Like, do not try and pretend that he didn't do that. Whether it's you're afraid of him, whether you want to show him too much respect, call it how it is. Stop trying to pretend and have it both ways. Like, it's ridiculous. It says maybe accused, maybe not accused. Of course he accused him. He made 20 videos on him. I mean, not literally, but he made at least 6 videos on Daniel already. Like, let's be serious about this. Like, call a spade a spade. Stop trying to pretend just because you want to still show some kind of respect for him, or you don't want him to go after you or whatever it is. Like, call a spade a spade. Stop trying to pretend that it's something different, okay? Like, I mean, accused or not accused, that's just really, really, really bad to say.
Allegations, whatever you want to call it. The debate took place on the Levitov chess channel in Russian language. Since I speak Russian, let me give you the summary of the debate. I made a list of notes.
Here we go. Okay,
not forget anything. So you will have a comprehensive idea of what happened and who won in the debate. And at the end, I'll tell you my opinion about the situation, because some of the subscribers were asking what I think about this. Having spoken to both Vladimir Kramnik and Daniel on my podcasts, check out the podcasts, they will be linked. The episodes will be linked in the description.
I'm gonna pick up the speed.
So I will give you my honest, unfiltered opinion, and I'll also give you the results of the polling that was held on the Levitov Chess channel, where 3,000 viewers of the debate voted whom they believe more, Kramnik or Naroditsky. And there were some prominent chess players involved in the chat. Many top grandmasters who speak Russian were in the chat. It was crazy. Like, all the Russian-speaking world was watching. It's a pity that it wasn't held in English, but I will help you understand and be a part of this
I mean, in a way, it's a good thing it was done in Russian, because at least then Kramnik can speak in his native tongue. I mean, that's the only good thing about it. Is that at least in that case, it can be done.
So let's dive into this. I will look at my notes to not forget anything. So first, there was the discussion of the speedrun. The speedrun is a series of videos that Danya has on his YouTube channel. Originally, it was like a series of streams where he educates his subscribers, followers, playing against lower rated people, gaining rating, and commentating on his games. There was a problem with one of the games that Vladimir Kramnik indicated in one of his investigations, that Danya was playing a 1000 rated opponent, easily demolished him, won a queen, had an absolutely winning position, like maybe plus 10, plus 15, I don't know. And he was waiting for the opponent to resign, but prematurely, before the game ended, he opened on the second screen chess base and started looking at the opening and started looking for the engine opinion on certain moves in the opening on move 8. And commentated.
This, by the way, I said this before. This is the only thing that should not have happened. Like, from a general standpoint, this never should have happened. Obviously, Danya should never have opened chess base. He should have waited for the game to end. Like, that is like a big failure on his part. But that hardly proves anything. Hardly proves anything at all.
So he said something like along the lines of, "Oh, my opponent on move 8 did a very peculiar thing. The engine thinks this and that." And Kramnik has said in his videos and on his Twitter X that this is cheating.
No. For those of you guys who are asking in chat, we haven't covered this because this was yesterday. This is something new. This is not the stuff from a couple of days ago. This is new. This is from yesterday. So those of you guys who are thinking, well, maybe this is something new, or it's like all been covered. There was some sort of debate or something in Russian yesterday.
This is, of course, this should not be tolerated. This is a violation of fair play, etc., etc. Which it is actually about violation of fair play. There was no debate. It is, of course, and Daniel has publicly apologized. He shouldn't have done this, opening the engine, but it did not affect anything. Of course, he was completely, utterly winning. He did not use the engine to give some hints to himself. No, it was just like a mistake, even though it's a violation of rules, of course, but it's not like cheating in the strict sense of this word, because as I will tell you later, they both discussed the sense of the word and came to the conclusion that this is fair play violation, maybe cheating if you say in a very, very broad sense. So, they discussed the speedrun for some time, and Danya said what I just told you. They were all the time like jumping from one topic to another, so don't be surprised that my review is also this jumpy, because this is what they did. After this, they started discussing Danya's setups. Danya said that Kramnik repeatedly makes mistakes of confusing his setup in the room, in the smaller room where he played Kramnik with a smaller laptop, and then his main setup in the room with two screens. And Kramnik then jumped to another topic of saying that let's come back to the speedrun. You couldn't have opened this second window on ChessBase and entered those moves, 8 first moves, while still playing the game. It's impossible, says Kramnik. Danya says, no, it's possible, I can show it to you. First of all, my editor has edited out 20 seconds of my video of speedrun, and he has shown it on the screen. 20 seconds where his opponent was thinking, and during that time, like, Danya entered on the second screen the moves, and Danya repeated this as an experiment. He opened the chess base, he showed that this is possible within 20 moves. Kramnik says, do you have the original of the video of the speedrun? Danya says, no, we don't keep it, and Twitch deletes it after like 2 months. Kramnik says, interesting, okay. And
by the way,
says, whatever,
one general thing that I'm going to say about this too, is the sound super low? Is it too low? Oh, is the sound not good? No, sounds fine. I do want to make one point about this too, by the way. One of the best things about the fact that I actually that I stream on Kick. I mean, it's good and bad in some ways, but one of the things I would say about streaming on Kick is that because they don't have the audio track separation for music and like a VOD track the way that Twitch does, like I actually always save my videos. I mean, I've started deleting some because it takes up too much space on Google Drive, but I always take like the original recordings and I upload them onto Google Drive. And that is one thing that I would say as a general technical point, that like when they're talking about, when they say does Danya have it, after a couple of months Twitch does automatically delete. So unless you save it to your hard drive, and you have to save it then, because like on Kick, for example, I just explained why I do this, you aren't going to have those saved VODs at a point. So if it's going to be like, oh, it's interesting he doesn't have the original recording, there is a very simple explanation for that.
This should deserve a ban. You have apologized for this, but this should deserve a ban. They banned me, chess.com banned me for a fair play violation when I played from a different account using Denis Hismatulin's account. This was like the point he made. I committed fair play violation. I was punished. You were not punished. This is not fair.
I mean, first of all, like I would say about this, though, this is comical because there's a huge difference between playing on someone's account against strong grandmasters and or even in potentially prize money tournaments versus this one game against a 1,000. There's a massive difference. I mean, there's just a massive difference. It's not the same. It's not the same thing whatsoever. Now, I don't know if he actually played on Hismatulin's account in a prize money tournament. But he definitely played blitz games against strong players on another account.
Also, Kramnik says that you are using the third monitor. I'm looking at this at these videos that you have. He says to Danya, you do have the third monitor. It seems like you're looking sideways somewhere, as if there is not just 2 monitors, but there is a third one further to the side where you're looking. Danya says, no, it's a lie. I've never used the third monitor. I don't even know if my computer has 3 HDMI ports to connect 3 monitors, external monitors. I've never done the third monitor thing, so nope. I just have a big second monitor that I use, and sometimes I look to the right of the monitor. Sometimes I look to the left of the monitor, and these are 2 different eye movements. Kramnik says, I don't believe it, this is like nonsense, something like that. Levitov, the moderator of the debate, also was skeptical, like, Danya, you're looking in 2 different places, it seems. Danya showed them how he looks in the right part of the monitor and the left. He filmed himself from behind as well. This did not dispel the suspicions of Kramnik. Then Danya says, in Twitter, you, Vladimir Borisovich Kramnik, called me a cheater. You said, admitted to cheating, quote. Kramnik says, no, this is like nonsense. I never called you a cheater. Danya found the exact quote. He found where Kramnik had said that Danya is like a self-admitted cheater. And Danya started debating whether it is fair to call a person cheating if he just made a mistake opening an engine to show to the subscribers something during an educational stream, obviously not intending to use engine assistance for winning against an opponent. So Kramnik says, well, it also can be called cheating. Then Danya says, then you are also a cheater because you committed a fair play violation using account of another person, which is prohibited, and you were banned for this. Kramnik says, okay. And Kramnik said, then Magnus also is cheating because he sometimes plays drunk on his streams with his friends who are shouting some moves in the background. Well, everyone is cheater then. Okay. Then Danya says that you did not behave in a decent way. I'm hurt by what you did, Vladimir Kramnik. You behaved not in a way that is deserving for the world chess champion, for the icon of the game, etc., etc. And Kramnik then says, but Nakamura has behaved even worse. He has been
this is going to be great to react
saying bad
to.
things about me over a year. For over a year, he has insulted me. He has said some swear words about me. And you, Danya.
Okay, so this is where I stopped the video. This is where it's great. You know this whataboutism is incredible because Kramnik seems to very conveniently forget that he's the guy who literally started all this by accusing everybody of cheating. It started with me, and then when he couldn't find anything on me, he started accusing everybody else. But swearing is maybe the funniest thing I've ever heard because especially as somebody who grew up in New York, like I'm telling you, as a kid, the amount of times that I saw like being on the road with my stepfather, or being in the streets in New York City, saying fudge you or using this A word all the time is really funny. Really funny actually, because like even now, sometimes when I'm in New York, I go to hockey games. So I go to New York Rangers games, and when the ref makes a call and they like call a penalty or something, like, do you know what they start chanting in the stand in the arena? They start chanting. So I think you guys understood what I was saying there. I don't know, maybe my mic got muted or something. But anyway, the point is, it really makes me laugh when I hear this. It really makes me laugh. It's not an F word, it's a different word. But anyway, yeah, I think you guys got the point of what I'm saying. And so it's really comical to hear this statement about, oh no, he's using swear words. Like, oh no, help me. Like it's the end of the world. Just really funny, really funny stuff. But the main problem with this at the end of the day is that Kramnik started this by accusing me of cheating. He started by saying my streak was very interesting. Nobody could score like this. And as soon as I called him out, he even went further. He then made some tweet where he said something about like, the main course is still to come. He started a petition. He did all these other things. So it's very disingenuous of Kramnik to say this when he's the person who started all of this. And then separately, if he wants to be mad about me calling him out for everybody else, the reality is that these other people can't really defend themselves. One of the things that rankled me a lot was when he lost this match in the Chess Champions Tour to Frederick Swain, however you pronounce it. And he lost this match. This guy who's like 2,600. He and his brother he and his brother Rasmus, very good players, and they have no way of defending themselves. They basically just get slandered and accused of cheating. I think Kramnik also accused accused the other one as well, but that's beside the point of what I'm saying. And so you have them getting slandered, getting attacked, and they can't really defend themselves. They just can't defend themselves. I think he also said something about Rasmus as well, but that doesn't really matter at the present time. So when you do all this stuff to then try and pretend that you're the victim, when you're the former world champion, you're the one who has the biggest platform, and you're going after everybody and accusing them of cheating. Like, I mean, there's no real explanation or reason that people shouldn't stand up for what's right. That's just the reality at the end of the day. So like more than myself, even like people I think are wondering like why I get so annoyed by the Danya stuff. It's because he's going after these people who can't really stand up for themselves. These are just people trying to play chess for the most part, and they're just getting accused left and right. So let's keep going with the video.
His videos, Nakamura's videos on your stream, and commented and reacted to them. You did not like defend me, and you deserve harsh treatment by me then. This was Kramnik's logic. Well,
wait, what? You didn't defend me? I mean, who in their right mind is going to defend Kramnik when he's doing something and it's very clearly wrong? Night and day, it's just flat out wrong what he's doing. But everybody's supposed to defend him? I mean, what? Excuse me? Excuse me? People are supposed to defend him after the crusade he's been on, or witch hunt, I should say, because that's a better word, for the last year and a half. I mean, come on, be serious. He's the one who's being the aggressor in all of this. Nobody would even be talking about any of this stuff otherwise. It's comical.
Interesting, of course. And he says that if you are promoting these Hikaru's speeches about me, then don't be surprised that I'm harsh with you as well. And then he used, I like this part, he used the Russian saying that this can be translated like either you put your panties back on or you take the cross, the crucifix off. So yeah, this is a Russian traditional saying. I'm not sure if it has an English equivalent. So then Levitov already got tired of this back and forth stuff, and he started swearing in Russian. I really I pity people who don't know Russian swear words. They are awesome. I really recommend you learn them. So Levitov started swearing. He remembered Topalov and Silver Danilov, his manager,
Here we go with this
Kramnik of cheating in 2006. 2006, guys, almost 20 years ago, during the World Chess Championship match in Elista, where Kramnik was playing Topalov, and there was this toilet gate scandal, very famous. You should Google it if you are new to chess. First major cheating scandal probably in chess, but not the last, unfortunately. So and Levitov said, Kramnik, Volodya, it's like a Russian form of his name because they are friends. He said, Volodya, why do you do this? Do you remember how bad it was for you when these guys accused you? How bad it felt? It must have felt. And then Danya said, you are hurting me. You are hurting me physically and emotionally. You have a reputation, a weight.
Yes,
as a former world chess
Very
champion,
true.
even not former. This title, I think, is for life. You're just called world chess champion. You should be cautious. You should tread lightly. If you even if you think that someone might be cheating, you should not make 10 videos about this person because your subscribers, many of them idolize you. They in the comments, many people, hundreds of people say, yeah, Danya is a cheater, definitely cheater. Oh, this is stinking cheater, something like this. And you are hurting me like this. You should not do it, especially if you don't have proof. Just questions, asking questions. You say you are just asking questions, but you are people draw conclusions from these questions. And Kramnik says, yeah, I tried to do everything hush-hush, not publicly via Chess.com initially in my anti-cheating fight, but they kept silencing me and stuff like that. Danya says, but it was not about me. What chess.com? Okay, you came to chess.com. Did you come to chess.com about me? Then they started arguing about who was the first to say about the other that the other guy is lying and manipulating. Kramnik said, you say I'm lying and manipulating about you, then don't be surprised that I'm harsh in my sayings. Danya said, but this was self-defense. You already started saying bad things about me. Then I responded. And then Kramnik says, nobody said anything good about me. Nobody defended me when Hikaru 1 year ago started swearing. It really felt
nobody started defending me a year ago. It's amazing, isn't it? Kramnik conveniently forgets that he accused me of cheating. I mean, I don't even know if the tweet exists anymore, but he went and accused me of cheating, and he was completely off base and wrong. And what does he expect after that? He expects people, when he continues and starts accusing everybody left and right of cheating, excuse me? Who started this whole thing? It was Kramnik. He made the petition on change.org. I think it was change.org if I remember correctly. He's the one who started the whole thing. And he got all salty too, because I remember this very well at the time. He literally accused me of cheating. He made a petition demanding an investigation. He also basically started threatening things. He's like, but the main course is still to come. I basically implying that he has conclusive evidence, conclusive proof, I should say, or evidence that I'm cheating, when of course he had nothing. He's just making stuff up. And this is just this actually is insane when he says this, because he's the one who started all of this by accusing everybody. And the other thing that I find amazing in all this that gets lost is that he also accused some of these kids of cheating too. He accused some kids of cheating. I think the reason he got banned from chess.com the first time is he started accusing Yagiz Kanardogmas, the very talented Turkish kid, of cheating. So when we look at this whole thing, it's really, really incredible the way that he's trying to spin this to make himself the victim. When he's the aggressor, he's the one who started all of this. And there's a reason that nobody wants to stand up for him. It's because he's just wrong. He's just accusing everybody without any proof whatsoever.
Was an important topic for Kramnik, that he was hurt by Hikaru's comments. And Hikaru did use a bunch of swear words about Kramnik.
Maybe don't go out there and accuse me of cheating. Maybe don't do that. Don't make stuff up. Let's be real.
Kramnik says, so you did not defend me back then, so take that. this is like, I don't know, redemption for him, something like this.
Amazing.
Daniel says, no, it's not like that. I always was respectful. I always told my audience to be respectful. And around this point is where Daniel starts to swear in Russian. he was like moderately calm before that, but this is the point where he started swearing. He says that this has hurt me a lot. This should stop, man. Like, you've made like 10 videos about me, almost every day a new video. These tweets, this is unacceptable. This should stop. I'm ready. I'm willing to answer.
My general take, by the way, we'll keep watching this, but just watching half the video, my general take from this is that Kramnik, he has some major problem with chess.com. It's very clear to me that Kramnik's ultimately his big problem is with chess.com. That is very, very clear to me. Now, I don't know what has happened between him and chess.com. I have no idea, obviously, because contrary to what a lot of people think, I don't actually run chess.com. I have very little contact with them these days, honestly, because after the merger and everything that's happened, they have a board, they have a lot of people who've come over from Chess24, so like I don't really talk to chess.com that much anymore, and I think that at the end of the day, whatever happened between him and chess.com, like that's like the underlying problem. That's the driving force between all of this, in my opinion. Very, very clear to me. Very, very clear.
Or any of your questions that you have to show you my screens, my cameras, whatever, but this should stop. This is not like normal what you do, like the switch hunt. And Levitov then entered the discussion again and said, Danya, did you farm your rating in Charlotte? And you might want to watch the podcast episode of Daniel with me this week. We uploaded it, great one. And Danya already responded to this in the podcast, and this is similar to what he told to Levitov. He said that I'm not farming rating here. I just like playing Blitz, playing in those tournaments. I played them when they were not rated, when there was not an opportunity to farm this rating, when the rules of FIDE were different for gaining rating. Because the idea is that Kramnik said in one of his videos that Danya is farming rating, playing lower rated opponents and gaining FIDE OTB Blitz rating to have a higher Blitz rating. And now Danya is 2700 OTB in Blitz because of some new rules of FIDE. And Danya says, well, you can check my tournament history. I did that even before when there was no farming involved. I'm not at fault here because FIDE changed the rules. I just play Blitz. I like playing Blitz, stuff like that.
He tweeted today saying you're constantly demanding chess.com to check on people you think are cheaters. What is he even talking about? I mean, literally, what is he even talking about? It's nuts to say that. It's crazy. It's crazy. But in the meantime, I'm gonna give a little bit of stuff. Let me find this, because like he starts talking about farming as though this is some like illegal thing. And let me go back. Wait, let me go back. How do I go back to my view calculations? Wait. Let me go to my individual calculations, because since we're talking about farming for a little bit, let me scroll through this. Let me pull this up here. I think you guys can kind of see it. You can see it. So let's go back. I'm going to go to, is it September 2009? Is this the right one? Yeah, so I'm going to talk about farming for a second, because obviously it's not a thing that happens, and even I'm apparently guilty of this too if we go back, because if we look at 2009, I played this event called Japan Chess League. I actually played, I believe, 7, 8, 9, 10, 4 years in a row, and I won every single game. So in my career in Japan, I went, I believe, 24-0. I think I went 6-0 every single year that I played. But see, I went 6 out of 6 in Japan. I beat these people who were like 21, 2200. So, clearly, obviously, I'm also doing it too. It's not okay. Or I'll make an even better example. Let me find Lee Chao B. Let me find this tournament. Who won it? Sri Lanka Chess. Was it Lee Chao? I think Lee Chao won. I can't find it right off, but I'm pretty sure there was a tournament in Sri Lanka near India, which I don't know if it was Lee Chao B or who it was, but some strong GM literally went like 7 out of 7 or 9 out of 9 and gained like 6, 7 points, basically farming the tournament. So yeah, it's just, Anthony Karpov says I played in this. That's good. Yeah, this is 2009. I played I think I played 8, 9, 10, 11, or 7, 8, 9, 10. I don't remember. But anyway, I just want to prove the point of how silly the whole thing is. At the end of the day, when you talk about farming, farming is something like Danya's in Charlotte. He wants to play his Blitz tournament. He's not doing it because he's trying to it's not calculated or premeditated. He's in Charlotte. He wants to play Blitz chess. Why not? Why not? If I go to, let's just say I go to Alabama tomorrow. Let's just say I go to let's just say I go to Alabama tomorrow, and I go to one of the local clubs and I play like a four game blitz tournament. I win all the games and gain 3 points. Like, is that me farming? If I'm doing it, going everywhere, maybe. But if I'm in Alabama for like the next 2 months, why not do it? Why shouldn't I go and play chess? I love playing blitz. Why shouldn't I? It's just an example, but that's kind of the point of everything. But let's keep going with the video.
Then Kramnik says, okay, whatever, this is not like important. There are different questions that I need answers to. Then Levitov says, well, guys, not this time. We already like spent 2 hours. Maybe next time. Maybe in English. You should make like a debating stream on some other channel in English. Levitov should have said the name of Chess with Must Reader channel probably, but he didn't. Although we are on good terms with him. And Kramnik says, all English-speaking channels in chess, they have me in the blacklist. They don't allow me. They censor me. So
censor me. Wow.
Well, Vladimir Borisovich, by the way, I will say at the end my opinion on some of the things you are doing and saying, but I've never blacklisted you, and I'm open to hosting this debate in English. By the way, guys, drop a comment if you want this.
No, this is so comical.
But whatever, let's finish this because we're coming.
No, Kramnik seems to live in a world where he thinks that chess.com, like we're all puppet masters they're like they control all of us, like we're all like on a string doing whatever they want. But that's just not the reality. And so it's both incredibly funny knowing what the reality is versus like Kramnik's theory, where it's kind of sad in a way too.
To the end of this recap of the debate. So Kramnik says, I'm censored, I'm being censored, I don't know, and I still have many questions. And Danya says, what does it take for you to believe that I'm not a cheater?
There's
what do I
have
to do? Which questions, like, which criteria should be made for you to leave me alone? And Kramnik says something along the lines like, you need to prove for me to dispel my like doubts, because currently I cannot just believe you when you say you don't have a third monitor. Maybe you have. It's like just your words against mine. I find some things suspicious, and you have not dispelled my suspicions.
Because you never can. That's the whole point.
Finally, there was not a conclusive compromise, and then unfortunately they did not agree on anything. It seems. Danya looked really sad and disappointed. Kramnik was milder than he usually is. Was like trying to project the aura of friendliness this time, so he was not as harsh as he sometimes is, but still looking at this was very strange. Very strange. And Levitov at the end said some words of compromise. He said, even though Kramnik is his friend, he said that he is overdoing it, he's going over the top, but he finished by saying that preserving chess is very important, and this is why we discuss such questions. So, what are the results of the debate? According to the audience, they had a survey, 3,000 people voted, those who watched it, 67 to 33% in favor of Daniel Naroditsky. So, a third of the audience is in favor of Kramnik. Well, I think that in the English-speaking world, Kramnik would have gained fewer votes, because it's my impression that he's less respected there, probably because his reputation is not as high there. Maybe he's not as idolized by foreigners as he's by Russians, and also because Hikaru is very, very influential and more influential in the English-speaking world, I think. But
I mean, this has nothing to do with being more influential. That's like a little bit silly. Like this feels like, again, a perspective that is just a little bit out of touch with reality. Like bringing me up as though like I'm the reason Kramnik's not. He's not liked because everybody can see through what he's doing. That's why he's not liked. That's the bottom line. It's not about me. That's the reality.
Yeah, even in the Russian-speaking world, 2/3 voted for Daniel.
I mean, people seem to forget, by the way. People seem to forget that at the end of the day, when Kramnik started all this nonsense, he was on a bunch of English-speaking things. He was on something with, I think, Maxime and Kevin Bordy, Blitzstream. He was on the C-Squared podcast with Fabiano. He was on with the Chess Bras. I mean, he had plenty of attempts to like get his message across, and nobody took him seriously. So again, a lot of revisionist history here, trying to imply certain things that just aren't there.
Like, my opinion is, well, objectively, this debate, it was not a debate.
He did an interview with Levy too, also, yep.
It did not look like Kramnik destroying Daniel. It did not look like that. It did not look like Daniel destroying Kramnik, because Daniel did not like try to destroy him. He was just defending, but it looked like Daniel fended off most of the attacks, at least in my opinion. I try to be unbiased here, and it looked like a win for Daniel. And I've seen many comments about from people who say, I really like Kramnik, he's a legend, but what he's doing is very strange and I don't understand. Like many people were disappointed seemingly by the comments. Maybe these are bots, maybe Kramnik says these are bots and stuff like that, but I guess probably not. Probably most of them aren't. Kramnik often didn't let Danya finish the sentence. He still was like very like he used, for example, Danya used Vladimir Borisovich. This is a polite form of using the first and the second name of a person, an older person, or an equally important person when you show respect. So he was very respectful, and Kramnik said Danya, and he said he used the form of the second person, how do you say, like pronoun? In English it's you, whatever you, if you respect the person, if you don't respect the person, it's you. But in Russian, there are two different kinds of you. There is вы and ты. So the polite one and the less polite one. The Kramnik used the less polite one. Danya used the polite one. So in terms of like politeness,
but actually, you guys, this is nothing new, because if you look at chess itself, having played against Kramnik, I think other top players have said this too. Kramnik doesn't let you finish your sentence even in chess. He thinks he's always right. He thinks he's always winning, even in analysis. So like, this is not exactly something new. Like, it's just something that's transferring over from chess itself, because he always acted like this in analysis as well. Always like this in analysis, always right, always was winning, all these different things, and most of the time he was actually wrong.
It looked a little bit weird, and Danya looked more adequate in this regard, I think. Even though maybe Kramnik thinks that he's too cool to, like, he should be admired, but he shouldn't necessarily be too polite with younger people. Well, it's not fatal, of course, but also I think gave an impression of like moral superiority in the mind of Kramnik. And my opinion of all this situation is that it's unacceptable. I respect Kramnik as a chess player and as a person. He has made many.
No, but I mean, this is just a life problem. This is just a general life problem, by the way. I'll be honest. This is just a general life problem, which is that when people get older, if you're really prominent in a field, people tend to struggle a lot where they're not as important, they're not as relevant. Like it's very common, actually. It's very common for this to happen. And I think a lot of it plays another big part of it is it's very frustrating, I think, for someone like Kramnik to see people, and like I'm not gonna use Levy as the example, but like to see people like, say, Anna Kramling, just to give an example, or the Botez sisters, or people who are much lower rated having success, and in many ways being far more relevant and far more famous than Kramnik is, even though of course he's one of the greatest chess players of all time. And I think that's a big part of it as well, is that when you get older and you start seeing this new wave, you see these people who are like not as good as you being more important, or like being very successful, being sort of becoming celebrities in their own right. I think that also is a huge thing too. It's a huge thing.
And still making, and I believe that he is acting in good faith, trying to find cheaters, but he is definitely overdoing it. What he's doing now is cyberbullying, and this is unacceptable. He is hurting people. He is insinuating. He says that he's just asking questions, but this definitely hurts people. This is I don't know what I would have done had they been Danya or any other people accused by, or not accused by, like, you know what I mean, by Kramnik. I would have probably filed a lawsuit or something, because this is like, especially if I know that I'm innocent, like, what the hell, this is cyberbullying, this is harassment, this is cyber stalking. You can use any other term. This hurts people, and you cannot do this. Like, you cannot upload 10 videos about a person and saying, I don't know, maybe he's like a murderer, maybe he's a rapist, maybe he's
Mustard is a lawyer,
he's a scammer. Well, I have questions. I'm not saying he's like a rapist and a murderer, but it's just questions. If you answer them,
all I'm gonna say about the legal bit very briefly, so I don't want to get deep into the weeds here, but as someone who has considered it, I would say the thing is, he's in Switzerland. Everybody's in different places around the world, and it's just complicated. It's just complicated. It's not as straightforward as people think it is. And additionally, if you want to do that, you probably are gonna have to pay money. And a lot of these people cannot afford to do that, is what I would say. A lot of them can't afford to do that. That's just the bottom line. So that's my one little bit that I'll say about legal. If this happened in America, he would be easily sued. Probably correct, actually. Probably correct.
I say, and if I like your answers, then I say, okay, you're not a rapist and a murderer, but I'm just asking questions. This is not acceptable. And I'm using like very serious charges, of course, like what I said. But cheating and the status of cheater is like very shameful, and any decent chess player would be devastated if people believe that he is cheating. So this is serious, and you shouldn't go around like filming stuff about people, especially when you don't have any proof. Like I haven't been convinced by any of the arguments of Kramnik. The only thing that I think is not good for Danya is the fact that he used the engine during the game to analyze it, but it was
Correct.
a speedrun game.
Yes.
It was not a serious one. He played against a 1000 rated player who was down a queen. So yeah, it's not good, of course, and he violated the rules, the terms of service of chess.com. Maybe he has to bear some punishment for that. I don't know what it should be, but definitely nothing too serious. And it's not cheating. It's not using the engine during the game to win it or anything like that. So that's my opinion. Write your opinion in the comments, and if you want me to
generally I agree. I mean, most of the stuff I actually agree with what's said here at the end. I mean, I think he's completely correct. About the whole thing. Like the only thing is Danya never ever in a million years should ever open chess base, because what that does is that opens the door. It's like that's the first step, you know. It's like the gateway. So like that's the gateway. That's the gateway. It's like it's the starting step to like going down the rabbit hole. Like Danya never should have done that. I will just say it. Like to me it's really insane. I think that's actually why Kramnik has latched onto the whole thing, because it's like, aha, there's already this doubt and all these different things going on, and so he never should have done that. Like to me that's just so completely insane. But again, it's like it's obviously in an educational speedrun he's trying to show something. I will say, as someone who makes YouTube videos, I think the notion of opening chess base to show to try and show like what someone did wrong is actually a little bit of overkill in my opinion. I think Danya's, I mean, this is a general point, but Danya's general knowledge of openings and what he's doing is already good enough. He doesn't need to go and open Mega and explain like this move on move 7 is inaccurate, this is the main move like with 500 games or anything like that. So to me that is the one thing that's just it's not good. But anyway, I think that's pretty much it, right?
English speaking debate.
Yeah, that's pretty much it with this one. So all right, pretty good video. Let's move on. We have, I think, one more. But yeah, I think also Mustrader, he's done a pretty good job overall with most of the stuff he's done. I think the only thing is, again, because these are people from the East. I mean, they're Russian-speaking countries. I don't know if Mustrader is from Russia itself or he's Kazakhstan or where he is, but is that there is like this general like belief that what Kramnik is doing is in good faith. And from the start, I've never believed it was being done in good faith. Anything to say on eval bar thing? Eval bar thing? I mean, literally, like that's even more comical. And my editors did an incredible job of basically putting 20. They put what 10 eval bars on one of the videos. Like it's a complete joke, obviously, complete joke. So yeah, all right. I think we have one more bit to get to before we start with Title Tuesday. So what is this one? Let's go here.
For the first time ever, we've got the behind the scenes footage of the game which must have started this vendetta that Kramnik has against Daniel Naroditsky. Look at this game. It was played on the 14th of July, one of the final 5 games they ever played on chess.com before they stopped playing each other 3 months ago after Kramnik rage quit after 11 moves. In this game, Danya destroys the former world champion.
Well, they put the speed at 1.25
in just 28 moves. This is ridiculous. Footage from Kramnik to come throughout the game here. Get ready. You haven't seen epic chess like this in a long time. So Danya opens with e4, best by test.
Okay, I'm going to put the speed faster.
The aggressive Siciliano, and after pawn to c3, the Alapin variation, named after a French chess-playing rabbit. Very few people know that. We see e6 from Kramnik, Le Francais variation in response, and after d4, d5 for the high 5, and Danya goes e5, sets up a king 4, and wins himself an all-access pass to next year's chess.com chess rap battle.
What the heck is this?
What a lucky guy. Now we see knight c6, knight f3, and what a miserable bishop. The bad one, developing to d7. Danya goes bishop
the bad one! Oh my gosh.
The antics begin. Because surely you recapture that free.
And this is another example, by the way. I'm telling you, like, chess is so elitist that I'm going to be honest. Chess is so elitist that if Kramnik sees this guy in these videos, he's going to be like, who is this complete clown? He doesn't even know how to play chess. How can he possibly make money when he's so terrible at the game? Like, I guarantee you some version of that, if Kramnik sees it, he's going to be going through his head. 100%, because that's just how elitist chess is.
To castle the king, offer a second one. Just listen to Kramnik's reaction to this.
This I missed.
He's not a happy bunny already. He brings this Master Blaster to the half-open file. Danya does the same here, supporting his center.
It's still too slow for me. It's still too slow.
What a cheeky boy. Now a6 from Kramnik, still refusing. Why not taking? Well, he's scared of the rapid development. And now Danya does decide to take in the center. Finally, some law and order restored. And after knight recaptures, pawn takes back here. Vladimir brings that queen out into the game, breaking the opening principles.
Okay.
Sure, you first get these ones off the Etienne back row. But after the pawn is attacked, does Danya defend it? This is where it gets shocking. He doesn't do so. He plays knight c3, giving Kramnik a pawn if he wants it for a second time. Listen to this reaction at Kramnik HQ.
What? Ooh, what a move. What a move.
This pawn genuinely on prees, because you can't do any of this ninja kebab stuff. The check is blocked, so fine, the queen is safe. Bishop e3 is best. You can even win a second pawn here. This is a sample line. This is the best one of Stockness Monster. Okay, bishop's in the center.
Stockness Monster, wow.
This is how the game could have gone, but it wasn't captured. After knight c3, Kramnik wusses out here, goes knight e7. He really ought to take up tiddlywinks these days. And after bishop c2, now defending the center, knight c6 attacking one more, Danya does indeed develop and protects that central pawn, leaving b2 to hang. But if you capture, this is the ninja line, hit the queen, it's sidelined, and then you come in here, attack these. Apparently this is still a level position, but it looks pretty uncomfortable for black. Big initiative for white. So after bishop e3, we didn't see queen takes on b2, but instead knight a5 played, and Danya plays a very cheeky move in response, knight to a4. These naughty grandmasters, surely they know that their Springer on dem Rimmer is an absolute Wiener Schnitzel, but they do it anyway. Now here's the point, the queen is here, so it gives ground, could have gone to c7 there. Now Danya hops fourth, and he knows he's changing the pawn structure. He knows the bishop can capture, but he wants to weaken the dark squares. So Kramnik doesn't have it, goes knight c4 himself, hits b2, the bishop, offers the b7 pawn if Danya wants it, then queen b6, big initiative for black. So instead, bishop c1 is played, underdeveloping. There's a suspicious move, if ever we've seen one. Have a listen to Kramnik's reaction on this.
Very often one move is enough indicator. It's just like impossible. Clear indicator to me. I mean, it wouldn't even like cross remotely my mind.
Bishop c1 is literally the most obvious move to me. Bishop c1 is Bishop c1 or knight b7 are the two moves that I would consider here. Bishop c1 is definitely the move that is one of the moves that I would consider. It's crazy actually. Because bishop c1 is very obvious. Danya's been trying to sack material the whole game. This is insane.
Fine, such move. I mean, even in classical game, I'm not sure. In Blitz,
it's edited? Oh, okay. Okay, it's edited? Okay.
Like that. Unreal. And now we see bishop.
It's making a joke out of bishop c8? Okay. Okay.
Because the world champion former is about to crash and burn in 11 more moves. Why not take the pawn immediately? Well, then
clever.
knight a5 and bishop a3 comes. You're getting mincemeated down here. So queen a5 played
mincemeated.
To capture like this, and upon b3 played in the game. Now there's knight a3 supported by the queen. Bishop hit, saved on d3. Now the pawn drops, but something wicked. This way comes queen g4. What a femme fatale. And the best defensive move is far from obvious. It's queen f8. Who does that? Honey, I'm home would say the queen, but weird looking idea. Then there's bishop d2 ideas to b4, doing this sort of thing. Very nice geometry on the dark squares. If king f8, more problems with this bishop soon developing onto this diagonal and everything. So what we see in the game is g6. If castles, by the way,
ooh, bishop h6 or bishop g5.
This has its own problems. Look at the Swiss cheese on the dark squares. Danya carries on with bishop g5, of course, and after queen c3, threatening
rook c1, rook c1, right? Rook c1 and queen b4.
Does not like it. White completely winning. If Danya can find this move, if you want to pause, try and find the winning.
It's rook c1. I don't know which rook, but one of the rooks.
Which Danya finds is rook to c1 here, given the brilliance.
Yeah, I spotted in 1 second.
Captured, which it wasn't.
Yeah.
When you crash through, bishop takes
queen
back,
b4.
And queen b4. Lovely lateral slide. The queen was distracted from c3, defending that square. And not only do you hit the knight, but more importantly, you threaten mate. And how do you stop it? Answer: you just don't. Simply, these are the only options to try
queen
and
d6 and mate.
You can run and not hide. This is a checkmate. So. After this move, the bishop was not captured. Instead, Kramnik, apoplectic with rage by this point, retreats this queen to a5. We get takes with check. The bishop recaptures. The rook on e1 hanging, but not for long. Hits that open file. The king runs to the bishop, tries to get away.
Queen f4 maybe?
Now queen f4.
Yeah.
You're in a world of pain.
Yeah, this is very basic.
Bishop h6 comes.
It's very basic.
Desperado. Danya, of course, takes en croissant. Many grandmasters do that when they're offered the opportunity, simply to say en croissant in your best French accent. And now, after knight b5, desperately scrambling back to defend the dark squares, we simply see takes.
Takes and bishop h6 or f7. Both moves win.
The game, because again the pawn is promoting or the bishop is helping it go, and you're just getting killed on the dark squares. Imagine queen b4, well then you can even invade here. All this sort of stuff. So the resignation not premature. What did this lead Kramnik to do?
Okay, of course report immediately. I mean, no doubt about this player. Absolutely no doubt. So report him. Was he a good spot? No, he was not a good spot.
So there you have it, the inside scoop on where this all came from. Kramnik's attack on Danya. And if you want to support him, check out the link in the description below. An X or Twitter post I saw earlier. Let's give Danya some support, get back to playing some chess, and not talking about cheating endlessly. Do share this with everyone you know, including your chess playing pets. And
No, this is a good video. Good video, actually. I actually like it quite a bit. Pretty good video, actually. Sped up? Yeah, no, it's a good video, though. It's definitely a good video. Yeah, having seen the game, like, that's... I actually, you know, I got cooked by Danya in a 3-0 game recently where I played the French, and he cooked me in a very, very similar line as well. He cooked me in a very similar... I don't know if he did exactly that line, but he sacked a pawn somewhere in the center, and I just got murdered. So, like, it's not super... it's not super crazy. So, but yeah, no, I mean, that game is nothing crazy at all to me.